Hello and welcome to Retro Reviews, my channel where I review my favorite retro video games of all time as well as some modern releases I have recently finished. The retro game that I want to look at today is Mario Pinball Land for the Game Boy Advance. This is a kind of by the wayside game that I forgot existed for the longest time until I pulled it out of my back catalog and was like, I wonder if I've ever fully beaten this game. And I hadn't actually. I'd never fully completed this game. So I decided I was going to go through and 100% Mario Pinball Land. And I had a lot of fun. I also got really pissed off. So let's talk about this game and why it is pretty fun for a pinball game and also one of the most aggravating things I've ever touched. So Mario Pinball Land is a very cutesy little pinball version of Mario. You like have the opening cutscene, he comes up, squish him into a little ball, and now you've got Ball Mario, and you go off and you start doing these little pinball areas. I believe there are 5 areas in total that you can explore and unlock stars for. The aesthetic is very much Mario 64. It feels very, very much like that. You're collecting stars. You are going into areas that are very similar. You have similar enemies. Like you'll go into an underwater section. You'll have these the cheeps that you can fight. You'll have the underwater physics as well, where you go quite a lot slower. You'll have a desert area where you have the little vultures flying around that you'll have to attack and beat those. You'll have an ice area with the penguins and everything. It feels very much Mario 64, and I actually really like that aesthetic. I like the idea that you are completing tasks to get stars. Once you have enough stars, you can move on to these extra things and fight bosses and stuff. It's very, very cool. So you start off the game and you have access to all these areas. You can't go into Bowser's Castle yet. You have to beat the bosses of each of the 4 areas to ultimately enter Bowser's Castle. So you'll go through each area. You'll do like a really basic first room typically, or maybe a second room in some instances, where you'll fight a certain amount of enemies on the screen. You'll just be using the bumpers to hit the Mario pinball around, and you'll be attacking enemies. Some have unique attributes, like you have to knock them over, and then you have to hit them again before they stand back up, before they disappear. But you'll usually have to clear the room in order to get a star. Once you have a star, you'll see star doors in these areas, and once you have enough, you can unlock those. The game is a little bit aggravating in the sense that you have to open these doors by hitting the right pinball shot, and then you have to hit it back up and go into the thing, which is fine in and of itself. But some areas, they have placements for some of the obstacles that are just so awfully placed. They're just in the worst possible spots. Even if you get like the timing right on the pinball bumpers to hit up, and you normally would be able to go through a door, sometimes there's just an obstacle. It's just so perfectly placed that you can't do it off of the bumper, and you have to do some crazy trick shot in order to get through a door. That can be a little upsetting. That's honestly not too bad though. Some of my biggest gripes come from the precision from boss fights. There are bosses in this game for each area. You'll find them hidden, some like behind some kind of locked door or in some kind of obstacle, like one of them's in a windmill, one of them's in a sunken ship, and you'll have to beat them in order to get a key. Once you get all 4 keys from all the main worlds, you'll be able to unlock the doors for Bowser's Castle. Each key that you unlock at the gate of Bowser's Castle also will unlock some of the later end stars that you can get for each of the areas. You can get most of the stars in your first go through, provided you have enough to open these doors that I've talked about. But you won't be able to do these extra things until you've gone and put the keys in at Bowser's Castle at the gate there. And then once you do, you unlock these little challenges. Like I said before, usually the stars are some kind of challenge. We have to destroy enemies or beat them from one is like snakes going toward a little grate in the middle, and you have to make sure none of them make it there before you get to, before you destroy all of them in order to get a star. They are very fun challenges. I actually like the star challenges for the most part. But at the very end of the game, once you've unlocked all the keys and you get the late stage stars for each of these areas, you have red coin challenges. Again, very Mario 64-esque. I like the aesthetic quite a bit. But these are some of the worst things that you could do in this game. They are so aggravating because they will scatter these coins around. You have 8 red coins to gather. And the first area I did, I think it was pretty easy. They had like 4 in the room that I was in, or that I dropped through an area, and they had 4 in there, and I dropped through another and 4 there. So you only lose like a life as the pinball, as Mario, if you go through the final stage. So if let me reset really fast here. So the setup is you go in, you start in a world, and the base area that you start in, if you fall through the hole in the middle, you will lose a life. but you can go through doors, and then if you fall through the hole there, it'll bring you back to the previous room. So the red coin challenges will have you get coins from various rooms in the world, and it gives you a time limit in order to get them. Some of them are really easy, like I said previously. You'll get 4 coins in one area and 4 coins in another one. Boom. Easy peasy. You have to just hit some precise shots. No big deal. Usually they add some more enemies as well to kind of mix up everything. So they'll add like a Lakitu throwing the little spinies down. And so you have to avoid them or use them to your advantage in order to get them. But some of them are so absolutely awful. They'll have like 2 coins in one room. You'll have another one where you have to open up a star door and then get through said door with additional enemies in order to get 1 coin from that area and another coin from another door that you have to open. Then you'll have other, you don't know where all these coins are going. You have to just explore, and you have a time limit. It's just awful. This is one of those games that if you are emulating, it is absolutely worth your time to save state and like go back and make sure you got the optimal stuff. That's what I did. I'm not ashamed to say that I save state in some of these old retro games because some of them are just so abysmal or it would take way too much time. So I save stated a lot of this game. I think that's worth it to experience a game like this because it is a lot of fun. But the aggravating side of things like that and other little things like some of the bosses being really precise in your timing, you have to have the ball just in the perfect position in order to hit them in the first place. There's one like a Koopa with a Sphinx headdress on him, and he's shooting magic at you, and it shrinks you down, but you have to hit these little stands to grow huge in order to hit him, but he keeps spawning them over and over as fast as he can. The timing is ridiculous, so I had to use save states in order to beat this game quickly. But by the end of the game, if you get every single thing, you get an optional, like, you get a bonus room that you can go to if you get all 35 stars, which is kind of cool. It's just like a golden room that you can have little bumpers and get extra 100 points for each bumper. It's kind of fun. It's not a great bonus, but it is there. And it felt really good to get 100% because some of the challenges were very difficult and getting through them was really nice. Typically what I would do is I would save state at the beginning of like a red coin challenge, and then I would do the whole thing in one go, and then I would go. I wouldn't like save state over and over again, or I'd save state right before a boss fight. That's usually the way I like to do it if I'm going to use save states. That way I still preserve some of the challenge without having to get the monotony of going back. So that I saved myself a lot of time on that. But the final boss against Bowser is very fun. It's kind of interesting too once you beat Bowser. I guess I'm spoiling this whole thing. I didn't ever say spoilers, but it's such a slight game you probably don't have to worry about it. But at the very end, you beat Bowser. He turns into a giant ball, and you have to break the walls while also keeping Mario up. If he goes through the gap, then you have to start over again. You get up there, you blow it away, and boom, you get the ending cutscene, everything. And the true ending, I didn't realize I'd gotten the true ending until afterward I looked it up, because the true ending says the end with a question mark on it. It has a picture that I'll show on the screen right now. I took some snapshots of my final score and the final cutscene here. You'll get a the end question mark, and I thought that was the not true ending, but lo and behold, you look it up, that is the true one. The regular ending just says the end without the question mark, which I think is weird. I don't understand the implication. I think it's just there to be something extra for you to enjoy. So Mario Pinball is very fun. I would recommend, if you're going to play this game, emulate it, like get your digital copy of your physical copy you've got, upload it on there, emulate it, use save states when you need to. Otherwise, this game is absolutely aggravating. I cannot imagine trying to 100% this game on like original hardware and just going straight up. It sounds awful. So I'm going to give Mario Pinball Land a silver rank. I think it was fun. I had a good time, but the aggravating things really did a number for my enjoyment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.